Welcome to the GAB Talks by the Independent Press Award. I'm your hostess, Gabby Olzak. To participate in the 2024 Book Award competitions, please visit independentpressaward.com and NewYorkCityBigBookAward.com. This podcast, we have the pleasure of speaking with Etty Burk, author of Aaron the Different, a story of courage, belonging, and acceptance. Aaron the Different has been awarded the 2024 Independent Press Award, Distinguished Favorite in the Children's Inspirational Motivational category. Etty is a highly accomplished organizational psychologist. She partners with various leaders and businesses in a plethora of industries to create and maintain inclusive and safe working environments. Etty earned her PhD in psychology and education from Columbia University. She is the founder of Leading with a Difference, a management consulting firm specializing in organizational development, culture, talent, leadership, and organizational structure. Aaron the Different is Etty's debut novel. She joins us today from Manhattan, where she works and lives with her husband and 2 children. Congratulations, Etty, and welcome to the GAB Talks.
Thank you so much, Gabby. I really feel privileged to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is wonderful. I'm so excited. So Aaron the Difference is, as our friends can see in the background, a beautifully illustrated chapter book about an 8-year-old boy, Aaron, who lives in a country called Premium on the planet Astron. So Etty, share a synopsis of the story with our listeners and watchers.
Sure, absolutely. Aaron, as you said, lives in another galaxy, the Harmonian Galaxy, and he is very different than the beings around him. He is round and he's green and he thinks differently. And that really leads to a lot of challenges that he has fitting into a world where everyone is tall and purple and thinks that that's the only way to be. So he goes through life trying to fit in and not being able to do so in the way he wants. But on a field trip, a school field trip, something happens that changes everything. And through that change, he finds his own self-courage and he's able to provide things that the other children are looking for and need. And that begins the change of the premium society. So they begin to change as well.
So Etty, your work focuses on talent management, conflict resolution. You're an organizational psychologist. What flaws did you recognize in business cultures that served as your catalyst for writing a children's book?
Oh my goodness.
So many flaws.
No, it's like real. We're all real, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the biggest flaws that really cause the most damage is the lack of communication and the inability to really be inclusive and to let biases take over. That really is something that has really been an issue. And there's a lot of resources that are stacked against this now, with communication and bias and how to get along at work. But quite frankly, I've been doing this for 20 plus years and I haven't seen a lot of results that we really want. And because of that, I thought, hey, if we want different results, let's do things differently. And let's start focusing on our future leaders, which are children, right? And giving them the mindset and the mindset that they need so that inclusion, acceptance of differences is just the way things are. So you don't have to retrain people when they get back to work.
So changing the mindset in children will really help change the world in the workplace, you feel?
I feel it's going to change our society. I think that giving children the skill set will allow them to do things better than we do now. And if you look at what's happening across the world in our recent histories, we see that there's a lot of bullying, there's a lot of bias, and we see the negative impact it has on individuals and on people in general.
Absolutely. And social media plays a huge part in that.
Huge.
Let's talk a little bit about the book. So your young protagonist, Aaron's family, was very supportive of his differences. they were all like everyone else in premium. In fact, his dad said he will use his talents. I believe in Aaron. Aaron will find his way to shine. And it's so lovely to see that his family was so supportive. But in spite of that, it wasn't enough for Aaron. What, with your background, did you really think Aaron needed?
That Aaron needed?
Yes.
He needed to feel that whatever he brought to the table was okay, that being green was okay.
Was okay. I love, Etty, the way you started the book with the new Aaron. It was so positive to start the book with something and almost like a prequel. And you can see what became of him. And it really just gave you such hope as you were reading the book and feeling badly about what Aaron was going through. And I also love that you include an epilogue of his new powerful life, a glossary of terms and feeling and thinking questions. It's such an interactive book. And again, I know it's a children's book, but there are lots of invaluable teaching moments for adults. What do you think they are, and how can this be read together?
Really interesting. I think that most of the people that I know have been reading it with their kids or grandchildren, and teachers with students, because it is teachable moments. And depending on the development level of the child, they'll either get things or not. So it's good to really have that discussion. It is so important to really facilitate that discussion so that you really get to know what's happening. I'll give you an example. Someone just recently just connected with me that she was reading a book with her grandchild, who she's very social and has a lot of friends, around 8.5, 9 years old. And she went to the back of the book afterwards, after they read it together, and did the thinking and feeling questions. And the first one is, do you know anyone who you think may feel like Aaron, right? And she thought, oh, he's not going to answer that. And he said, yeah, I do. And she goes, who is that? And he goes, me.
Wow.
Okay.
That's an aha moment. Yes, that's amazing. And you see, had you not written this book, Etty, this grandmom would not have read it with her grandchild, and she never would have known this about him.
Right.
Wow.
I wrote this book. It's like, I just wanted to help one child.
Oh, it's going to go so much further than that for sure. So Aaron evolved from an outcast in premium to a hero. And as you mentioned in the beginning of the interview, he really inspired others to change. But what did he discover within himself? Because that was so important.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron still, Aaron, without giving a lot away, I mean, he still sleeps with a nightlight. He's scared.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he does things, he's real, he it's not like he's perfect in any way. There are things he does that maybe creates more of the isolationism that happens to him, right? So he learns a lot through the story and through the adventure that he goes through to look internally into himself and to really be introspective and to rely on himself and to really utilize that courage and that self-confidence that he really didn't realize that he had.
How do you think that these tools can be useful within a business or an organization? Because I know that you would really, your goal for this and your vision is for the breadth of the book to be really wide and go beyond the children's. And I think it absolutely can. So as far as a business or an organization, how can this be used as a tool?
Well, some organizations are actually looking at it currently, and I can tell you what they're looking at it for.
Oh, yes.
Diversity and inclusion and equity and belonging initiatives. They're looking at it for employee resource groups, like parent resource groups. Yeah, so they're looking at putting it in there. Some are looking at it to have it as part of a training, because you can read the book really quickly, dive into the concepts, which are very, very sophisticated and complex.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So those are the ways in which they're currently being explored in some organizations.
That's very exciting, Etty. How did your training as an organizational psychologist help you with this and inspire you?
Oh my goodness. I spend my life as, looking at ways in which to create safe, respectful and environments where people feel valued. So this was right up, this supported Aaron. This is how my experience through the work I did. And as a parent, this was something that I felt very strongly that this would be an opportunity to help in a very small way, a small contribution to help change the future for the better for our children and for ourselves.
Well, I find, Etty, that to accomplish anything great, and this is certainly great, you often have to rely on the kindness and support of others, as Aaron did. You offered your gratitude to a number of people in your life at the end of the book. How did your children inspire Aaron's story?
Oh my gosh. I created this story. I started in 2007.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the version you're looking at is maybe 148 or something.
Oh my goodness.
So it's had a long journey, and my children were the inspiration for this. And a lot of their ideas and their input is in the book. And
that's so exciting.
Man, yeah, they're right in there. And they deserve the acknowledgement there. They should be right in there.
So whose decision was it to create this planet? I love it that it's not just a normal children's book with a message. It's the graphics are really exciting and beautiful. So how did you come up with this and why?
For me, it was based on the focus on psychology really focused on the book. It was
okay.
How do we create something that would allow people to project in a very safe way what they're feeling with regard to perhaps bullying, being different, seeing other people's differences that might be uncomfortable, right? So having it done in a way that it's far away and very different is a technique that works, and it was intentional in this way.
So a different planet, nothing really connected to the here and now.
Nothing connected. So people.
It's a safe place.
Safe place that they can talk about friends. They can talk about a teacher. One of the things what's interesting about Aaron, and I did it intentionally, is that no one's like perfect in the book, right? Mm-hmm. So parents are very supportive. Aaron's parents are very supportive, but they're also, they're trying their best to deal with.
Yeah, that was so obvious. His brother really tried really hard to connect with him and make him feel better.
Right. But they're not perfect, right?
Yeah.
So no one is perfect in the book. So it's not like, oh, everyone's great. So even the teachers really is a challenge for some people to read the book. Like I had one person who is an educator who read the book and almost got upset. This was Mrs. Padlock, the teacher.
She's so flawed.
She's so bad, right?
Yeah. So inappropriate. Yes.
Yeah. But and then I've had people who said, oh my gosh, I had that teacher.
Yes, that's so real. That is absolutely true. Yes.
A child just had that teacher,
Yes.
Some people said, no, never would it happen in my school. No one's like that ever. Mm. Like, okay, great. That's very good.
Right. It's really very relatable. And I'm also curious, I'm sure that our listeners and viewers are curious as well. Why purple? Does that have some significance, the purple and the green?
No, you know what? It was just something that I love the colors.
Okay. That's fair enough. Okay.
And as I was exploring how to really layer on the focus of differences within the book, like subtly or not so subtly. So looking at things like gems and rocks, and they have, and purposely that different colors of gems and rocks and things that are brought out in the book are done intentionally. So it was just seeing how that plays out in geology, and so that's how those decisions for me.
Okay, that's interesting. So it does play a somewhat of a role in it. So you mentioned maybe something like 147 versions since 2007. That's a long process, but you took your time with it and you wanted to get it right, and obviously you did. So at what point did you start in the process? Did you start seeking out an illustrator, or did you have those visions in your mind already?
The visions that you're saying I had in my mind, and I kind of sketched out what I'd like it to be. And I worked with, and then I found an illustrator a couple of years ago to
Oh, wow. Okay.
just try to make that come alive.
And you had to find someone who had a shared vision with you, I guess.
Yeah, I helped them with my vision and and they helped me bring that to life. So they took my ideas, my drawings. We went back and forth and the colors, and I was very involved in every piece of it. And they were amazing. They helped me bring it to life.
It's really beautiful. And this is a funny question. Since Aaron the Different does take place on a fictional planet, if you could have one superpower, Etty, what would it be?
Help people change their minds.
That's a great superpower. And what direction would you want them to go?
Let's be part of this discussion. I would love them to have an open and curious approach around differences and be open to accepting others for who they are.
So what's the most important message of Aaron the Different?
That you have the power to make a difference. You have the power to help others feel like they belong.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. So this was a very positive, long project for you, but really positive, and hopefully I'm sure it will really reach high success. What's next? Do you have any other plans for any other children's books?
Well, I'm writing Aaron another adventure. I think.
Oh,
intergalactic adventure. So we'll see with his friend Jesse. So we'll see where that goes.
Oh, that's exciting. So what stage is this in? And do we have to wait as long for this edition?
Yeah, good question.
Good question.
Hopefully not.
Because you're on a roll now. Now you've got it down. So what has the response been about Aaron?
It's been very humbling, and I really think that it's hitting the nail on the head, in terms of helping people feel good about reading this book. They feel like they can have the courage to do the things that Aaron's doing. So, it's important for me to help children look at the world through Aaron's eyes, so that they can accept their own uniqueness, the uniqueness of others, so that they have the courage to move forward. So that's important.
That is very important. That's a powerful message. And, you are really genuine about this. And it's obvious because lastly, Etty, I understand that a portion of the profits will be donated to anti-bullying and inclusion programs. Share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at ways to do that. I'm looking at collaborating with several schools to help them expand their anti-bullying programs at this point. And that's how I'm focusing on that. As the funds get more, I could do more with that. And looking at different organizations now as well.
Well, thank you for doing that. It's such an important issue, and parents really need to have the tools, and organizations do too, as you mentioned, but adults are behaving very badly and very badly. And, it really is up to the children to set them straight. And I really hope that happens. Children are still innocent. I think we're the ones who really ruin them.
I think that they're going to change the world.
Absolutely.
Allow them and pave the way in a way that can happen. And they're going to show us how to get it right.
If we empower them, they will show us how to get it right. That is for sure. So you are also available to facilitate discussions in schools and organizations. All of this information is available on your website, Etty. So where can listeners learn more about your work and purchase Aaron the Different?
Well, you can purchase it on my site, ettyburk.com. is a good place. There's also a place that we can connect if you want to have a discussion or to explore opportunities together. That's the best way. And of course, on online stores, it's available as well. But on my site, it could be signed and personalized in any way you want.
Oh, that's exciting. Thank you so, so much. Etty, this was so wonderful. Lots of powerful messages and tools. And we really look forward to reading the next edition of Aaron.
Thank you. Hopefully.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
When is a guesstimate of when we should expect it?
A year or so.
Okay. That's great. All great things take time. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Etty. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. This is your hostess, Gabby Olzak of the GAB Talks. Thank you for joining us. Next podcast, we speak with Beth Ann Hooper, author of The Roots That Clutch. Until next time, keep on reading. Thank you.